All right, so I just hit go live and I'm recording it.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, hang on just a second. I'm going to put this on too so I have all systems running here. Yay, it's working. I'm so excited. Everything I was nervous about is done. All right. All right, Todd, we have you on here and hold on, I actually can't see it right. There we go. You guys, I've been hyping this up all week and I'm so excited to have my friend Todd Smith on here. Just to give you a little bit of background, I've known Todd, actually, I was thinking about it today, Todd, it's been almost 4 years, which is crazy. I was first introduced to him 4 years ago through some wellness products that we loved. And it was really our high impact and high ginger and turmeric. And we had great results with that. And that's kind of where I met you. And over the course of the years, we've become friends and I've learned a wealth of information from you. But today, just a little background on Todd. He is the co-founder of Bula Vida. And he is, I don't know, what do we call you? I told Ivan, you're my health Bible. I go, like, seriously, I got to ask Todd, like, remember last year when my son broke his foot, we stopped by the office and it was 3 weeks preseason. He's like, okay, you got to do this, 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 and this. And let me tell you, that boy did it all and he was at that first game. So you're like golden in our house. But what we want to talk about today, a new product was launched just a few months ago, which almost 2 months ago, which I can't believe that either. And there's been a lot of questions about it. And I know some of the answers. I know a lot of the answers, but the other day I was listening to you and I was like, okay, I got to have you in our group because you just know it all and you're awesome. And so I want to introduce it. I've already talked about it and I've actually been giving it away as a monthly prize a couple months in a row for our Water Wednesday because I've had such amazing results from it. But just saying that doesn't work. Like if I say, oh, high impact turmeric, everybody knows what turmeric is and everybody knows what ginger is, but M20 doesn't really clarify exactly what it is, right? So will you first just kind of tell us what the M20 Boost is?
I'd be happy to. First off, Jen, thanks so much for having me on, and hello to everybody in the group. It's a privilege for me to be able to be here in my mobile office. I'm actually traveling with the family in Houston, so that's why you see me in the back seat of this rental car. But I'm excited to be on, and I have to first off let everybody know how grateful we are for Jen for all of the effort that she puts in to help everybody, especially those of us I know who come up against a challenge, right? How do we figure out what we should eat or how we cook it or macros? And I mean, Jen's a wealth of knowledge for all of that. And I know that all of you watching this truly understand what I'm saying when I say, you know, ask Jen, ask Jen. That's been my motto when it comes to keto and BulaFit. But one of the things that I would first off say when it comes to the M20 product, Jen, is everybody has to learn a little bit about what a muscadine grape or a muscadine berry is. And I had to do that. I mean, it's been over a year now since I was first exposed to it, but the muscadine is a naturally growing native, at least for 400 years, native to America. This particular plant, we don't know exactly how it got here, but it's the mother vine, as they call it, is over 400 years. It's found in North Carolina and South Carolina, and it's been growing in the backwoods and the fields of people's backyards and things for over 400 years. It was a grape and a berry of the Native Americans when the settlers and the Pilgrims and them came to America. They were introduced by the Native Americans to this amazing grape, but it's just been a kind of a fruit that people didn't do a lot with. They made some jams and jellies and things with it. There's been some muscadine wines made over the years, but not much known about it other than it just being a naturally occurring grape until recently.
So, it's funny because I research stuff, like that's just my nature. If I hear a word I don't know, like when I heard keto the first time, before I even started, I had read 5 books. Like I had to understand. So I immediately typed in muscadine grape, and like I didn't see anything negative about it. And everything I saw was just kind of all crazy, like really good stuff. And I'm sitting here going, why haven't we heard about this before? Like, why? Because we can literally say it's this amazing superfood. Like, really nothing compares when you look at everything that's there. Why is it something newer that we're just hearing about? Why is that a new word to us?
Well, you've probably all heard the story of Acres of Diamonds, right? Where the guy goes all over the world trying to find the diamond mine, and then he finds it in his own backyard. This is a similar type story. I mean, the health and wellness world has gone all over the world trying to find another superfood, another amazing food to bring to America and the rest of the world to help improve health. And we've gone all over the world. We've gone to Tahiti and gotten noni juice, and we've gone to India and gotten goji. We've gone to Asia and gotten mangosteen. I mean, you could go down the line, the acai berry from Brazil. We've gone all over the world and tried to find some of these amazing, powerful antioxidants, fruits and vegetables and superfoods that have high levels of phenolics and high levels of antioxidants, high level of bioflavonoids, all of these things that are naturally occurring in these fruits and vegetables that we don't get in our regular diet, and go and find that source, make a product out of it, bring it and make it available to the world. That's been kind of one of the great efforts of the health and wellness industry over the last 20 years. And this one was just overlooked. We didn't know we had the most powerful premier superfood in our own backyard.
So how does it compare to some of those others that you listed? Because I know they've all had studies done on them. Has the muscadine grape have lots of studies done on it?
So the muscadine has its own history, which is interesting because many people who grew up in that part of the U.S. are familiar with the muscadine, and the berries would come on, and you'd pick them and eat them. But they're a very thick skin and very large seeds, and so they haven't been very popular compared to the European table grapes, which are used for all the vineyards and the making of grape juice and wines and things in America. However, those who live in that area, you remember probably of them coming on in the season, and people would have them, and then they would go away, and sometimes they'd make raisins or jellies or jams out of them, but there wasn't much talk about the health value of them until a gentleman named Jerry Smith. And Jerry Smith is one of the visionaries of the water industry. Years ago, he recognized that the water systems in America were antiquated already, and he realized that the day will come where people will be aware of this, and they'll want to drink bottled water rather than the water from the municipal water supplies. And so he started a business of bottling water for drinking long before any of the brands that we're familiar with, Dasani and Aquafina and all these, long before Pepsi and Coca-Cola and anyone else got in the water business. He started bottling water. And now, as you know, water is the number one bottled drink. I mean, we drink more bottled water than we do soda in America. And he was the visionary who saw that. Well, at this similar time to as he was seeing the vision of what was going to happen in the future with water, he also came across these muscadines growing in his own neighborhood and his backyard. And he he had heard some of the little local folklore about some of the health benefits of it. And he was self-treating himself for some of his own illnesses with these muscadines and having great results. And so then he started, mixing up his own concoctions with the skins and the seeds and sharing it with a few friends. And they also had amazing results. And he said, we're going to do some great stuff with this. So this was kind of like his hobby on the side of his water business. And he ended up sharing his muscadine mixture with a dear friend who's very, very well-to-do. And this fellow had a life-threatening illness, and he recovered from it. And he said, somebody has got to bring this to the world and really research and find out what is behind this, what it is that got me
Right.
better. And so this gentleman donated $20 million to Wake Forest University
Wow.
Medical Center to research the muscadine, find out, is it safe? What's in it? What's making it work so well? And that was, over 10 years ago. And in the process of that, this same gentleman, Jerry Smith, not the wealthy one, right? But Jerry Smith is plenty wealthy as well. He went ahead and built acres of vineyard for muscadines, hundreds of acres. And then he built a state-of-the-art facility just for processing, taking the harvest, juicing, processing, and preserving and preparing products made by the muscadine. So he put in the 200 acres of vineyard. He mastered the method of picking the grapes, and no herbicides or pesticides, harvesting the grapes, preserving their phenolic counts, and then a facility, $38 million facility, how to process, and mastered that process to maintain the phenolic counts and the healthiness of this all the way through to the product. And then for the last decade, he's been producing finished product and storing it. And so he's got not only this, all the acreage of vineyards and a $38 million facility dedicated specifically to the processing of muscadines, but he also has over $850 million of already processed finished goods ready to take to market. And so while all this research has been done, he's been putting all of the infrastructure in place, from ground to product. And that's what he's done. He's fully vertically integrated that product. And now we at Bula Vida have the privilege of doing that last leg of the journey, and that's taking this product to market.
And that's awesome, because so many times, there's product that's starting out and it's like you're playing the game and building it and figuring out your system as you do it, and the product's there. It's ready to come out. So I had a paper, and I don't know where it is, that talked about the differences in these ORIC scores. I didn't really understand what that was, but from what I could tell, it was like way up at the top compared to all these other ones. And let me also add to that, when you look at these studies and the research, it's this specific muscadine that we're looking at, right? It's not just some random study, it's this one that we have.
No, there's definitely differences in muscadine, just like the difference between ginger and other gingers and our turmeric and other turmerics. This muscadine has been grown, processed, manufactured. Everything that's been done has been done to maintain certain phenolic counts. And you can't just take muscadines from any grower and add it to this process. That's why he has his own vineyards. And he has certain standards and minimums that have to be met, or that muscadine will not be included in the production. And you're right. I mean, it's amazing that we're coming in after all of the research, all of the manufacturing and the specializing and the expertise has been tested and tried and now mastered. It's a wonderful and an amazing story that we get to be at this time and place where we get to bring this to the marketplace. But ORIC score is just one indicator. So there's all sorts of ways you can test a food and find out the healthiness of it, right? What are the health benefits of it? What are the aspects? I mean, for example, the muscadine grape has over 100 identified different antioxidants in it.
Wow.
It's a similar to what we've explained on the turmeric, where everybody talks about curcumin, which is an active ingredient in turmeric. Well, most turmerics have primarily one curcumin, maybe a couple of others, but really only one that it has a lot of. Our turmeric has high levels of over 6 different curcuminoids, right? Take that logic and apply it to the muscadine. Most grapes or berries will be very high in one particular or 2 particular antioxidants. This particular fruit, they call it a grape, but it's technically a berry. It's because it has all of the health benefits of every one of the grapes we know of and every one of the berries we know of. It has everything. You pick a berry that you've known as health, you pick a grape that you know is supposed to be healthy, or a fruit, and this contains all of them, over 100 different antioxidants. But the ORIC score test is done by Brunswick Laboratories. This is a third-party testing facility. It does all the testing for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, completely third party. it's truly a place where you can go and say, okay, I want to know what is the antioxidant absorption ability of this food or this product. And what that means is we have in our bodies natural processes that create free radicals. When our body creates energy, when cells replicate or divide, any of these processes, they develop free radicals in our body. And our body has a natural process of identifying, isolating, neutralizing, and eliminating free radicals and preventing oxidative damage. Well, our bodies do that great so long as it has certain nutrients. And it does it great so long as we're not adding to the problem, right? We're not adding other free radicals. But in today's environment where we are exposed to so many chemicals, where we are exposed to pollution, we've got very, highly processed foods and a processed diet. And you go down the line, all of these things add to the free radicalization or the free radical damage and oxidative stress and oxidative damage that's happening across the body to all cells. And once a cell becomes damaged by a free radical, that cell can either be it can be damaged to the point that it is deformed. It can be damaged to a point where it's just defunctory. And those cells start to replicate, right? Now you get a copy of the bad cell. And if you have that happening in a location over and over again, especially if it's happening at a very rapid rate, those will develop into tumors. And we'll find tumors throughout the bodies of pretty much every person as they've been exposed to, like, these things I told you, these environmental toxins and pollutants. And our body has, like I say, the ability to fight these things, but it needs tools to do it. And so one of the things we've done over the last 2 decades really is to travel the world and find antioxidants, bioflavonoids. You've probably heard of OPCs. You've heard of, all these different types of things that we have found in other fruits and vegetables and brought them here and used them in conjunction with health and wellness protocols to try and help the body fight off free radical damage. One of the most popular or well-known terms is antioxidants. And so the ORAC test tests antioxidant value. So what they do is they put your food or substance in an environment where there is high levels of free radicals, and they measure the free radical level before and the free radical level after exposure to your food or a supplement. And so the chart you're talking about was testing noni juice. It was testing goji juice. It was testing mangosteen. I mean, cranberries and blueberries and all these fruits and vegetables and berries that we've been told are so powerful in antioxidants. And as you said, the muscadine was way up in the chart, multiple times more than any of these superfoods that are legendary that we've known of now for at least a decade. The muscadine just completely supersedes it. I mean, it just surpasses it by multiple times. And again, this was something that we had no idea. It's just been sitting in our backyard. We go all over the world only to come back and find the most powerful antioxidant, the most powerful superfood in our own backyard. And the Brunswick test, like I say, this ORAC score, oxygen radical absorption capacity, is only one indicator. Right? And it's only testing the antioxidant level. It's not testing all of the other health benefits of it. But even just in that one category, the muscadine comes out way superior.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just remember when I saw that chart going, seriously, it's like, it is the best superfood here on the planet. Like when you look at it compared to all these things that we know are good for us, it was great. I loved too that we have it in a capsule and we can use it with our ketogenic diet. You know what I mean? It's not like the sugary drink or anything like that. So it really goes hand in hand. So I've had a few questions as I've been introducing people personally to this product. One person asked me specifically, and I thought this would be a good one for you to answer, if it was okay, if there were any medications they were taking that would prevent them from being able to use the M20 Boost.
And that's a great question. And, normally people would say, well, yeah, we think you'd be fine, right? I mean, that's the response that most people would give. the amazing thing here is we can say, well, we got $20 million of clinical research saying, yeah, it's absolutely not a problem. In fact, one of the amazing things, when this gentleman donated that $20 million, he wanted this thing tested for safety, tested for efficacy, tested for long-term effects. I mean, all of that kind of thing. And they've gone through all of the clinical studies. And these are clinical studies on animals, clinical studies on humans, clinical studies in the laboratory. I mean, they try to do everything they can. And the first and foremost test they do is, what's the safety? Yeah, and there are no, by the way, this type of testing doesn't happen for nutritional supplements. It only happens for pharmaceuticals. So to say that we've got $20 million of, you know, double-blind randomized placebo studies on humans, clinical studies by a reputable medical center like Wake Forest University, that just doesn't exist. I've been in this industry for over 2 decades. I've never had a product with, you know, where there were clinical studies done on my specific product. Now you can say there's a clinical study that was published over here that was done on this ingredient or whatever, but never on my specific product. And there aren't any in the marketplace. It's just too expensive. You got to have somebody who donates $20 million to get it done. So that in itself is very unique. But the amazing thing about this is that, one, it's a straight food. Okay, it's just skins and seeds from the muscadine grape. So one, it's completely natural. And so you're using the body's natural processes of digestion and assimilation. So you've got all sorts of safety mechanisms in place already in that process. Secondly, like I say, it's gone through all the scrutiny of what a pharmaceutical drug would go through for safety, side effects, its usage in conjunction with other medications. They combined it with high blood pressure medications, cholesterol medications, cancer medications. I mean, you go down the line, this thing has been tested and proven it's perfectly safe, no contraindications, no conflicts in using it with anything in the marketplace. That's one of the reasons why we call it Boost. Right? Because it doesn't matter. There it is, the boosted shirt. It doesn't matter what you're doing. I don't care what exercise program you're on, this will boost it. I don't care what dietary program you're on, this will boost or enhance it. I don't care what nutritional program you're on, this will boost it. Everything, whatever diet you're on, whatever you're doing, whatever you believe in, you say, I've got a supplement I love, fantastic. This will boost it and enhance it. And that's the amazing thing, because it works at a cellular level to make your cells stronger, to improve their ability to defend themselves and fight off free radical damage, because of it, the efficacy of the increased of circulation, but the reduction of inflammation. This product helps and enhances every protocol, product, activity, process that you are already using.
Okay, so that is actually really interesting, and that brings me to another point. So back when I learned about the ginger and turmeric, I was actually on a hunt for my husband, who was taking like over-the-counter painkillers every day for headaches, right? And we had tried over-the-counter turmeric and just didn't have results. Nothing, not the stuff in the warehouse stores, nothing. And so I'm like, forget it, go back to your other stuff, and was introduced to that. And he noticed a difference within a matter of days. And that's kind of where I started looking into more about what this company was all about. But I started taking them without a specific goal in mind, right? Like, I didn't have a perpetual pain. I just knew that overall it was good for health, and didn't notice a difference so much until I missed taking them for a couple days and went, oh my gosh, that's how I used to always feel, and didn't realize it until it had been gone from my life. And so I never missed that. So when M20 Boost came out, it was kind of the same thing. Like, well, I've never been steered wrong. Every product that I use, because this is just the tip of an iceberg, every product that I use, all are amazing things. So I start taking the M20 Boost. And I've received this comment from several people, and I wholeheartedly agree with them. I feel really good, and I notice something different, but I really cannot pinpoint what it is. Like, the two things I can pinpoint that I do feel a little bit different about, like, it's summer, I'm hiking big time, like 3 or 4 times a week. And I notice my longevity, like I don't get shortnesses of breath as quick. And I don't know if it's from that. It's literally the only thing I've done different. And I also noticed my skin. My skin just looks better is all I can say to that. So I don't know if that would be with it, but I've had several people say, actually, I feel really good, but I'm not really sure if I can pinpoint exactly why I feel better. But that's the only thing they've done different.
Those are great points, Jen. And I think it, for us to understand why or how, we have to kind of think of some other examples as well. I like that you gave the example of the turmeric, right? Because there's lots of clinical studies on turmeric, but that doesn't apply to all turmerics that are out there, right?
Right.
And so, you might read a study that says this is fantastic, but then you go buy a turmeric at a health food store or in a grocery store, and you're like, yeah, well, not happening, right?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing in myself what I read in the study, and that's because not all are created equal. And so here at Bula Vita, we're very big on clinical research, right? That's obviously a part of it, but we're even more particular on results. I mean, if the just because you got a study saying it will do X doesn't mean the product will really do it. You have to make sure you see the results, and they either match or exceed what the study says. And that's really our motto at Bula Vita. Why bring something to the market that's only going to let people down? So we don't. I mean, if you're going to try one of our stuff, you're going to say, okay, that exceeded what I had been told it would do. And that's really what we're talking about. But when you add something to your diet that is natural, that is food-based, that, like we're talking about today, generally the experience is not going to be an overnight shock. It's going to happen in pieces, right? Where someone gets a few days down the road. Now, it's not, a lot of times, I've been in the industry a long time, so I understand that, oh, well, you'll notice it when you're 20 years older, right? And I'm against that one too, because how do you know? I mean, I gotta have something a little
Right.
sooner than 20 years. So, I've also, for a long time said, well, you'll notice a complete, a major difference within 90 days. And I think that's a very safe thing, because the body does cycle in that 90-day period. But what I'm loving about our trifecta, the ginger, the turmeric, and the boost, the M20 boost, is that this combination, people are seeing results way, way faster than what I had experienced previously with our whole 90 days thing. Somehow this combination of these three together is really jump-starting our body systems, and people are noticing, experiencing life-changing differences much, much sooner. But it still is happening gradually, meaning sometimes you have to take it away for a day or two and go, oh yeah, okay, now I notice the difference. I see the difference, because otherwise it's subtle. It happens gradually, kind of like if you're with your kids all the time, you don't notice that they're getting taller or they're growing. You go away, right? Like your nieces and nephews, you don't see as often. You see them, you're like, whoa, when did that happen, right? That's kind of the same thing with natural nutrition for the body, is that it does happen almost, a gradual basis, but you take it away and you'll fall back very, very quickly, and you'll notice that fallback. When you mention the benefits that people are seeing, they are completely across the board. We're seeing things like you say about skin, things about exercise, things about weight loss, things about sexual health, things about blood pressure, cholesterol. I mean, you go across the board, and these testimonials are everywhere, at every extreme and in between. And the reason for that is because we are supporting the body's natural function at a cellular level. And every tissue, every organ, everything in the body is built up of cells. And so if the cells are healthier, obviously everything's going to improve. But let me answer specifically what you might be experiencing with regards to the exercise. So you said you felt like you had more endurance, more ability to exercise longer at higher levels.
Yes.
Your lungs have the capacity to operate more efficiently, to breathe more deeply, to transfer oxygen and carbon dioxide together more efficiently, and to get oxygen to your muscles throughout the body more efficiently. Well, you can imagine this product, tested by Wake Forest University and a number of other facilities, this particular product boosts circulation. We've got clinical studies that say that it increases the diameter of the brachial artery and allows the passage of blood to the tissues, the conveyance of blood to all of the tissues throughout the body more efficiently. Okay, so now what carries oxygen throughout the body? It's the blood. So if you're able to move blood into tissues more efficiently, that means you're able to move toxins, lactic acid buildup, toxins, and things like that in the muscles out of the tissues more effectively. The body's able to get rid of the bad and bring in the good more effectively, quicker. You're going to have longer lasting endurance. Those muscles are going to last longer before they tire. They're going to not build up the lactic acid and things in them that cause them to hurt and create fatigue. Your lungs are going to be able to bring in more oxygen into the body because they're operating more efficiently, and to exhale more of the bad, the toxins. I mean, that's one way we detoxify, is through our exhalation. And so all of these things become more efficient. The body will move the good, bring the good in, and get rid of the bad more efficiently, which gives us, more endurance, more strength. We feel better. You talk about the skin. Well, antioxidants have been proven for decades now to help with skin. We've got lots of skincare products that talk about, we had this antioxidant and this antioxidant. And just as a little preview, you're very soon going to have products where you're going to be able to bring grapeseed extract topically into the skin. I didn't say that publicly, but so there's lots of exciting.
I'm so glad you did.
There's lots of exciting things that we can do with this amazing, powerful superfood. But even from the inside out, when you get it into the body will create healthier skin. Now, the skin takes a few days to cycle, right? I've heard 21 days and things like that for the skin to cycle completely. So it's not going to be an overnight thing when you're consuming it, but you get a few weeks down the road, and all of a sudden the new skin that comes to the surface as the other exfoliates and comes off will be healthier. It will be more, it'll have greater circulation, it will have more pigment, it will have more elasticity. These are some of the tests that have been done with the muscadine grape with regards to skin tone and the healthiness of skin from the inside out. And we're going to be able to do the same thing from the outside in the near future.
Which is so important. And I know you're on a little family vacation in your car office right now, so I don't want to keep you much longer. We had 2 questions that came in. And I was just going to ask you, I think you can answer them at the exact same time. Somebody wanted to know, first, if you could take it while fasting without it upsetting your stomach, which I have, and you can't. I haven't had issue with it. But also the absorption of it. And this is kind of a question too for me with fasting, because you had taught me a few years back, your nutrients are absorbed better if you're eating at the same time. And so I've opted in the past to, like, if I have an intermittent fast and I'm going to eat around noon or whatever, that's when I take my first batch of supplements, and then I take another batch probably with dinner or whatever. And so, I haven't noticed it affect my stomach in an adverse way when I've taken it without food at all. I don't know about that. And then another question was gut absorption. It just says, what did it say? Let's see if I can find it. What about absorption in the gut was the question.
Fantastic questions. Okay, I'm going to address them both. The first one, you would actually be able to answer better than me, and as far as affecting fasting blood sugar. I don't notice it affecting blood sugar, and I'm pretty sensitive. You know that about me. And so the biggest concern about taking things on an empty stomach has to do with more of a medicine, or even some vitamin and mineral supplements and things like that. Like our multi, I wouldn't take our multi on an empty stomach. I would take that with food. Now, technically, the ginger capsules, the turmeric capsules, and the muscadine capsules are food. Okay, so they're not a processed item. They're not something that's chemically derived or processed. These are foods. So if you don't normally have an upset stomach when you consume food, like if you were to go in the kitchen on an empty stomach and eat a grape or two, would it upset your stomach? My guess is probably not. Well, you're fine with the muscadines, okay, because it's not going to upset your stomach. If you normally would be okay to eat a vegetable, then you're probably fine with ginger and turmeric, right? A root or a vegetable, because that's what these are. They are just natural compounds. We haven't added anything to them. We haven't taken anything away from them except for the sugars and the water. Okay, so we have used a very cold, low temperature, not a high temperature way of evacuating the moisture from these compounds so that they are shelf steady. But we haven't done anything to them to alter their chemical makeup. So if you're taking these capsules with a glass of water or some sort of a drink, it's just like you're rehydrating it in your stomach. You will not get it. I don't get an upset stomach. And as I mentioned, I'm very sensitive. If I do that with the multi, I will have an upset stomach. Okay. So there is a difference there. So as far as affecting blood sugar, I would encourage those people that have one of the little testers to test your own blood sugar and see what it does to you, because everyone reacts a little bit differently. But you have to understand the sugars have by and large been extracted, right? Because they come out with the liquid, the moisture. And so they're very low in any carbohydrate or sugar content. What you do have is fiber content, because that's what's left behind. And then all the phenolics. The other thing I would mention, the question was about digestion. All three of these superfoods are legendary for digestion. Look up quercetin. Quercetin is one of the main fiber compounds and antioxidant compounds in the muscadine. It's fantastic for digestion. It stimulates growth of the natural gut flora and gut biome. And it also actually carries with it some very powerful gut promoters. And so I've actually found ginger's legendary for not only supporting healthy digestion, but actually repairing the digestive tract. Turmeric is a wonderful, almost a calming agent for the stomach, reducing inflammation. You wouldn't think that, because turmeric, has a bite to it. So does ginger, but they're fantastic and phenomenal for reducing digestive disorders and all of that. So they're powerful. You add to it the muscadine with the amazing quercetin and other ingredients that actually support the growth of the gut biome. I would think they're fantastic to take on an empty stomach and with food. And according to the testing by Wake Forest University, they've done that with their patients, and they found that if the dosage they take on an empty stomach actually boosts the gut biome and helps with digestion, the one taken with the food, the body absorbs and takes up a higher level of the antioxidants. So a great protocol, and one of the ones they do at Wake Forest University, is to divide the dosage, and one take on an empty stomach and the other one take with your meals. So I'm going to leave that up to personal opinion. I take mine all at one time just because I don't want to forget. I don't want to only get one dose.
Handful. I like the idea of taking.
Really up to you.
No, I love that. I think I'm going to try that and see what happens this week of taking half. I do split mine up, but I do it with 2 meals. So maybe I'll take some on an empty stomach and just see what happens, and then do mine at lunch, except for the multi. I really can't take that on an empty.
No, I cannot either.
Okay, well, I think we can kind of wrap it up unless you have anything left you want to add.
The only thing I would add is, first off, a thank you again for the opportunity to be here. I love the chance to talk about this story. I have never been so excited about a health story as I have been, and I've been in the industry, like I say, for over 20 years. I'm excited about this because I know what it does. I mean, and it's great to have anecdotal evidence where I share it with a friend or a family member, and I see the difference and I hear the testimonials from people. I've always had that, right? But what I've never had is, clinical research done on the product by a reputable, like Wake Forest University, millions of dollars of testing it on people. And so I absolutely love that. I love that I can go to anyone with absolute confidence that whatever you're doing and it's working for you, fantastic. Add this to it and you will love the results. And I love the fact that we don't have to tell people to be, oh, don't take too much of this at this time, or don't mix it with that. There's none of that. I don't have to say, oh, you got to stop taking this in order for this to work. I don't have to do any of that. Or you have to be on a specific diet for it to work. I don't have to do any of that. This is God's creation, and we just say, put it in your body, and it will do amazing things. And there is nothing on the marketplace that compares. And I love being in a place of of having the best. I love being in a place to going to somebody with absolute confidence and say, you know what, look at the research. How much research do you want to read? You want a few $100,000? You want $1 million worth of research? I've got up to $20 million of research if you want to read it, right? And that is a very powerful place to be. And also a product that we know everything about it, from the soil all the way up to the bottle that we hand in somebody's hand. We know where the grapes are grown. We know how they are handled. We know who picks them. We know who processes them. We know how they are put through to where they extract the skins and the seeds, and they dry them, they freeze dry them. We know all that process. We know who puts it in the capsule. We know who puts it in the bottle. We know who delivers it to your door. So we are completely vertically integrated on this product, and it gives us a huge amount of confidence as we go and share it with others. And so I just am excited at the chance to share the story. I'm excited as I see the results. And I think as we take this product and share it with the world, it's going to be one of those things that will be I was there at the beginning story, right? I remember when I was first talking about, and I love being part of something exciting like that.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming on here. I think that was what, I've heard you talk about it several times, but the other day I was like, to be able to say that with such confidence that it is the best and there's nothing out there that's beating it. Like usually it's like, I think it could be the best, or like, that's awesome. And I'm so happy to be able to say that to people. So really quick before we get off, just because I feel like I'd be doing a disservice if I did not make this announcement. And I should have grabbed my ginger and turmeric. I'm staring at it on a shelf over there. Anybody who's watching this, who's wanting to try it, they put out a killer deal. So it's this. It's a bottle of the ginger and the turmeric. There's 90 capsules in each one. And is it $99? Am I right on that? $99 this month. But here's the even cooler thing. You also, at the same time you purchase that, for free, get signed up for a wholesale membership. Like, to me, that's just a no-brainer. So if that's something you're interested in doing, you go to your Bula Vita rep and you talk to them and you tell them you want to do it. And if you don't have a Bula Vita rep, I will post my website in the comments, or I'll just tell you it now and then I'll post it. It's living.m20boost.com. Super simple.
So let me just share one thing on that. So normally, whenever you want to get something at wholesale, there's some steps you have to go through, pay a fee or whatever in order to become a member. I mean, you go to Costco, you got to pay for a membership, right? And those are nothing against that. I mean, that's what we have, right? We've got a membership enrollment, but we felt so confident on this trifecta, right? That what we really want to do right now is get it out in the hands of as many people as possible and get it in the bodies, not just the hands, right? But in the bodies of as many people as possible. So what we decided to do was not to have a hurdle that people had to jump over to get involved at a wholesale level, to do away with that. And it's a loss leader for us as a company. Our purpose here is basically just to get the product out at cost for people, and you buy that trifecta and you can get the same products ongoing for the same price. So there's no, many programs will say we got to buy this much retail first, or you got to pay the enrollment fee, or you got to jump through this hoop. We're not doing that right now. It's get these products in your body, experience the difference, and you won't have to, pay more to do it. It's going to be an ongoing thing. And so we're excited about that. And it's really bringing a lot of new business of people saying, hey, I want to try it. So glad to offer that. We hope as many people as possible take advantage of it while it's available.
Okay, awesome. I'm so excited. Everybody better take advantage of it and try it. And I agree with what you say, go the full 90 days, because I noticed a significant difference in really my exercise. Like, I'm not an exerciser, so that's saying something. Anyway, okay, thank you, Todd. Go be with your family. Have fun in that hot, humid weather.
Melt here in Houston.
Go melt. All right. I will talk to you later. Thank you.
Great to be with you. Bye.
Bye.